Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today at the episode for Depression is Not for the Weak by Nicole Harrington. That's me, where I'm going to share my 3 pillars to turning depression into a superpower, which include narrative, evidence, and identity. So let's get into today's story because I have been having a hard few days. I'm currently traveling, which is why I'm not in my usual spot at my desk. And with traveling, your whole routine gets messed up. Your comforts, like everything you're used to, suddenly is like you have to look up everything where you're going, which it's not so much that way here, but because I've been here before. But for me, like the internet has been so slow that it's taking 3-4 times the amount of time to do the usual things that I'm doing. So it's really messing up my routine. So with that has come a bout of depression. Like I have been ruminating, like seriously before bed, I'm like thinking of past events that happened so long ago, like traumatic events from my past. And it's like, Nicole, what are you doing? And really, I haven't had this happen in so long that it's actually really reminded me of how far I've come, and it's had me practicing all these skills. I do practice my skills every single day, but in such a bigger way right now because I'm seriously ruminating. My mind is just like on loop of past trauma. And what I've learned is that when you're thinking of a past event, when you're explaining it to a friend or going over it again, when you're like talking about it, thinking about it, visualizing it, your brain doesn't know the difference between when you're thinking about it and when it actually happened. So while I'm bringing up this past trauma, my brain is actually going through it as if it's happening right now. So of course your body is like, what the F, we're going through a trauma, like prepare. I'm not going to fall asleep in that state, right? So let me know if that makes sense, because that is a huge mind shift to remember when you are explaining over and over like the bad things that are happening in your life. It's just as if they're happening again and again and again. So flip the script and start saying positive things just to start out so that you can start seeing more positive things. Your brain will be happier and you'll start to get the evidence you need. Once you stop complaining, you do this, what I'm saying, you stop complaining and you start to focus on the positive, repeat only positive things happening in your life, which is the narrative piece. Your narrative, what words are you using to describe what's going on in your life? Then you're going to start to find the evidence that that's working for you. Once you start to repeat the positive things going on in your life, you'll find the evidence will just pile up that it's working. So that's what's been happening for me, is that I've had to apply the skills in a heavy way because I'm experiencing a bit of depression. So guess what, you guys? What I started doing is I notice that I'm thinking of the past trauma, etc., right? And then I noticed this is all in my mind. I know that I'm just thinking about it, even if my brain doesn't, right? So I'm like, I'm like, Nicole, what can you do right now? This is bad. Think of something else. How can I take back control of my mind so that it doesn't just keep looping on this negative crap I don't want to be thinking about right before bed? So, how do I take back my mind? Well, I started visualizing other things. Think of something else. Think of another story. And my mind, it kept jumping back to the trauma that it wanted to be like who, oh my gosh. The thing is that I don't think it's productive to understand why this trauma is coming up or like why you were triggered, because then you're still thinking about the negative. So instead of focusing on like, why am I triggered right now, which can help you like avoid triggers, but then you're just avoiding triggers. Instead, I think it's more productive to focus on how can you get back control of your mind, of your body, of how you're feeling right now. So I said these things to myself. I'm just like repeating the things that I'm learning and trying to practice. And I found myself visualizing another event. So if you guys follow my page, Nicole Coaching G, all one word, then you've seen that I go on walks every single morning. I share that on my story on Instagram. So I started visualizing going for a walk. And the reason I like this example as something to pick something in your life that like you can literally see every crack in the ground. I know every single house that I'm passing. I know every tree because I've walked that so many times. So it could literally be just like walking to your car, from your door to your car. It could be walking around your apartment. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I picked going for a walk. And I put myself in that position. I'm walking down the stairs. I'm seeing every single step. I'm opening the door. I'm seeing the car. I'm seeing the trees. I'm walking past the car. See, I didn't jump to, now I see the neighbor. I'm trying to visualize every little piece of it because we're trying to slow down your mind. And this technique, it's visualizing. So visualize every little detail you can, because my mind was going off in other places. Like I noticed that I wasn't staying focused on what I wanted. And so I just brought it back. And if that means that I brought it back right to the beginning of the walk, then that's okay. Because we're going through a hard time right now if this is happening to you. So be kind to yourself. Start over. Walking down the stairs. How many stairs are there? I see the railing next to me. I open the door. I see the curtain. Like all of these details can help keep you focused on this visualization. I open the door. I see my car. I see the garbage cans, the things we're trying to get rid of on the driveway. I see, like, I keep walking 10 steps down the car. I see the trash cans. Like, I see the car next door. I see the tree. Like, whatever it is comes up for you, go with it, but be as detailed as possible. I remember, like, I was, like, thinking about this, and I'm like, oh, I see my cat running down the driveway. And I was like, no, Nicole, stay to the walk. Why? All of this is just a visualization and a journey. So as long as we're taking ourselves away from the trauma we're remembering, speaking of the little kitty, then it's a positive. If you're listening to this on audio, Lily just jumped up on my table, the cat. The little kitty. Hi, Lily. So visualize. Take back control of what you're thinking. That's what we're doing here. Because, she's so sweet. Take back control. When you feel you can't control what you're thinking about, that's what we're talking about. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. Because of course there are like, yeah, what triggered this? Like, that is all important, but not right now in this moment. When you're dealing with something like this, where it's on repeat, a trauma, or like you have to take baby steps to getting to the right place, to getting where you want to be. And the first step is to make sure that you're safe and comfortable and you're okay in the present moment. So instead of letting your mind wander, which is okay to do sometimes, we do want to allow ourselves time to let our mind wander and see what comes up, but not right before bed, not right before we're going on stage, not right before we're doing a meeting. There's Zozo now. Zoe just came up too. Does that make sense? Like, let me know, you guys. Message me your story, support at NicoleCoachingG.com or on any of my pages, my social media, because even just writing it out and having someone you can trust to listen is helpful, right? But sometimes the people in our life, we can't always trust that they're going to have our back and that they even understand what we're talking about. So, and that's okay. Because support does not need to be a person. You don't have to have, your support system doesn't need to only be a person. It can also be getting out of bed, changing your location can help, taking a hot shower, eating your favorite food. These are all still things you can set up to support yourself. All right, you guys, I see that this has already gone 12 minutes. And that's about time. So make sure to like and subscribe because I'm coming in hot with lots of examples like this. And I'll see you next time.